Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. In June, the Kansas Department of Agriculture issued an order to ban all poultry shows and events in the state of Kansas to prevent the spread of avian influenza. The prohibition includes all types of activities where birds of different flocks would be mingled, and we spoke with industry experts at Kansas State University about the avian influenza outbreak. Also today, we visit with John Slogic, a leading commentator on agriculture and rural Kansas. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. It's been a month since a case of avian influenza was detected in poultry in the United States. However, the outbreak's influence is still affecting poultry farmers today. The epidemic has caused the death of 49.5 million chickens and turkeys, and attempts to prevent it by developing a vaccine may turn out to be almost as devastating. This is because international trading partners say they will bar imports on any birds vaccinated against the disease. Today we have on the program Dr. R. Scott Baer, an associate professor from Kansas State University, who specializes on companion animal management and poultry nutrition, to comment on avian influenza.
Well, commercial producers always track mortality rates on a daily basis. And unfortunately, with avian influenza, this time around, the very first sign seems to be a spike in mortality. So when they see a sudden spike in mortality with a large number of birds, that's the first thing we need to look at is avian influenza.
When avian influenza infects farms, the birds shed virus in saliva, nasal secretions, and feces. Susceptible birds can become infected with avian influenza when they have contact with contaminated nasal, respiratory, or fecal matter from infected birds. Fecal to oral transmission is the most common mode of spread between birds on farms.
Avian influenza, unfortunately, can spread very quickly from bird to bird. It's easily passable. It can go through an entire complex in a matter of just a day or two. Sometimes the producer reports a sudden spike of mortality of maybe thousands of birds in less than 24 hours. It easily transmits from buildings adjacent to each other, oftentimes on manure, maybe small birds, dust, any vector that can bring it from building to building, maybe even trucks, people themselves.
Currently, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention advises the best way to prevent infection with avian influenza is to avoid sources of exposure whenever possible. Most human infections with avian influenza have occurred following direct, close, or prolonged contact with sick or infected poultry. People who work with poultry or respond to avian influenza outbreaks are advised to follow recommended biosecurity and infection control practices from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention.
The more we have going back and forth, people, trucks, the more chances we have of that infection from spreading from one farm to another. So staying home, preventing other people from coming over who may have visited other poultry farms or other equipment being transported between farms is very important because the virus somehow hitches its way around, hitches its way on birds, but it can also get on clothing. It can be spread. We even worry about being spread from a dog that may have run out into a pond with geese on it, and those infected birds might have spread it in the hair coat of the dog, and he could have brought it back in the pickup truck. The next thing you know, it's found its way to the farm.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe, here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Well-designed container flower gardens bring beauty to your home, at your entry, on your patio, or placed in a special spot in your landscape. Let Jackson's help you select the correct plant combinations which will add the color and style you need and that will survive the summer to provide beauty till frost.
Our annual flat sale is going on now. Choose a flat of 4 packs for just $18.99.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cavis. The avian flu outbreak has more than doubled egg prices across the United States and led to the death of more than 49.5 million birds in dozens of states, according to the United States Department of Agriculture. Iowa, the hardest hit, has euthanized more than 30 million birds, including approximately 40% of the state's 60 million laying hens. Turkey farmers in the state, while infected to a lesser degree, also have suffered. Minnesota, the leading turkey producer, has lost nearly 9 million turkeys. Now in our story about avian influenza outbreaks, we continue our interview with Dr. R. Scott Baer, an associate professor from Kansas State, who specializes on poultry nutrition and management, to comment on avian influenza in the United States.
Avian influenza is something that in the United States is extremely rare because there's multiple forms of avian influenza, and in the U.S. commercial industry, we don't allow any of the forms of that avian influenza to actually exist. So it's extremely rare, and as soon as it does exist, our first remedy for that situation is to dispose of that flock, eliminate it from the farm completely, and then repopulate.
When an infected bird is detected on a farm, it is immediately quarantined, and the USDA works in conjunction with the farmer to determine the best method for disposing of the exposed flock. The USDA has recently described this outbreak as a wake-up call on biosecurity. The idea of air-sealing farms, which use ventilation fans to keep birds cool, may be too difficult to enforce for the USDA. Dr. Baer, along with other industry experts, predict that the virus will return in the fall when cooler, damp weather provides favorable conditions for its spread.
Well, it seemed to happen this year. It was probably associated with the spring migration of birds going from the south to the north. It seemed to start on the west coast first. There were several flocks infected in the states right along the west coast there, and it seemed to follow the migration of waterfowl. And then it started in the middle portion of the United States, what we call the Midwest flyway. Birds migrate back and forth in what we call flyways. They move back and forth a little bit depending on where the rain was. This year it was more dry in the west, so birds probably followed more of a eastern path in the central flyway. They then move up through northern United States, up through Canada, and they go to nesting grounds where they mix back and forth with birds that come from other flyways. That's our biggest fear. Once the virus goes up one flyway, it can mix in the north and then come down the next flyway. And that's what we worry about this fall.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Bob Henry, a soybean producer from Robinson, Kansas, and is the Kansas representative on the board of directors with the American Soybean Association, joins us. Bob, the American Soybean Association, along with the Soy Checkoff, are sponsors of the Conservation Legacy Awards, and people who are interested or want to apply for the awards, that is now open, I understand.
You can apply, put in your application. If you want to, would urge anyone who's doing conservation practices, you can go to the ASA website at www.soygrowers.com and go in under the awards programs. And the deadline to have your application in is September 1, 2015.
What does the Conservation Legacy Award showcase of the producer?
This award is a way for us to showcase the farm management practices of U.S. soybean farmers that are both environmentally friendly and profitable. And these are practices that make U.S. soybeans sustainable to our foreign buyers.
And the importance of that, it really shows as to keeping that customer happy.
Yes, we're starting to get requests now from foreign buyers about soybean sustainability. That's becoming a bigger issue overseas. And this is also a way for us to show our American consumers how we are producing soybeans sustainably and how conservation-minded soybean farmers are throughout the whole United States.
I understand there will be winners selected from 3 regions?
There are 3 regions, the Midwest, the Northeast, and the South. And those 3 winners will be honored during the ASA Award Banquet at Commodity Classic, and that is March 3rd through 5th, 2016, in New Orleans.
And then there will be, of those 3, one national winner.
Yes, there'll be one national winner. And one possible sidelight to this year's is there may possibly be, for the national winner, overseas trip to visit with some other farmer leaders, to visit some of our customers, and possibly will be in Europe. So that's not been finalized yet.
One note for people, I understand that mailed applications will not be considered, so all those applications must be submitted online?
Yes, that's right. And you can go to www.soygrowers.com and go to the awards section, and the application is there. Fill it out and send it right back in.
That is Bob Henry, a producer from Robinson, Kansas, and also is the Kansas representative on the board of directors of the American Soybean Association. He joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. As fourth-generation farmers themselves, they understand the importance of using the correct products on every acre. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag offers quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today at 800-760-4964 or find us online at HeinenBrothersAg.com.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help? How can we help?
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome.
Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
This segment brought to you by Heinen Brothers Ag, farmers helping farmers by offering quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia. Call today to protect your crop yield.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Capus. Currently, avian influenza in the United States is a rapidly spreading viral disease that can infect many types of birds. Avian influenza is contagious. It exists naturally in many wild birds and can be transmitted by contact with infected animals or ingested of infected water or food. Farmers are urged to keep wild birds and contaminated animals away from home and from farm, and stay informed on the epidemic and restrict traffic on and off poultry farms. Dr. Baer predicts that the further spreading of influenza will occur this fall.
It was, when this had started, it was clearly random infections. Just bad luck. Birds that stopped along the flyway, maybe got it into a pond. Adjacent birds moved it into a commercial complex. Maybe somebody walked around the pond and moved it into a commercial complex. And as the birds began to move north, we noticed a slight drop in the infections. It then started hanging around some commercial complexes because of, biosecurity between the farms adjacent to each other, with people and movement back and forth was an issue, so it sort of sustained itself. Now what we've seen is just what we predicted. It's cooled off. We haven't had an infection since early June. Heat really helps destroy the virus. It helps desiccate virus particles in the air. There was some concern that some producers anecdotally noticed that after a very high wind, a few days later they could test positive. So what the concern was, migratory fowl moving through waterways, moving through the air, encounter high winds. When we had cool days and all those damp days we had this spring where it was really wet, that virus could tend to hang in the air a little longer and move over many more miles and infect farms downstream or upstream faster than we thought. We don't know what's going to happen this fall. The big concern is that those birds that are infected in the north could start migrating south when it cools off this fall. We don't know. Did it clear in those flocks up north? The virus actually clears very quickly in birds. Did it clear enough that we won't see infections? Will we see an entire new infection as they move south again? Will it be the same strain? Will it have the same pathogenicity? We don't know. It's going to be unpredictable. I've heard predictions saying that we could have many more infections. I've heard other predictions saying that hopefully we'll have none. When you think about it, even as easily as this virus has spread this time around, really in the last few decades, we haven't had a really severe outbreak of the virus in the same situation.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
If you missed the opportunity to apply crabgrass preventer to your lawn last month, there's still time. Apply Fertilome's new product, Professional Turf Weed Out Plus Crabgrass Preventer. This product kills new crabgrass, it also prevents new crabgrass and other weeds, kills dandelions and fertilizes your lawn, all in one application.
Visit Jackson's. We'll show you how to grow the best lawn in your neighborhood.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Healthy cows start with the new hired hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher. Get the new hired hand for yourself or become a distributor. Visit cowsprayer.com. The new hired hand makes healthy cows easy.
Generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop liquid crop nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cavis. Today we have a special segment on John Slogic, a senior writer and editor at the Kansas Farm Bureau. John is a leading commentator on agriculture in rural Kansas. Born and raised on a diversified farm in northwestern Kansas, his writing reflects a lifetime of experience, knowledge, and passion. Farm Factor interviewed him about his experience in communication and how the world is changing conversations about agriculture.
It's hard to keep up today, and it's wonderful to know what your fellow human being and what people in your life and what people around you or people that you come in contact to. I talk to people wherever I go when I travel or whatever. On a plane, I'll talk to people. You know, being alive is being with people and listening to them and hearing a little bit about who they are and what they do.
John has been involved in the communication field for years and reflects on his experience with being involved in telling a farmer's story.
I did have a real luxury of growing up, like I said, where that was the way we learned about things, and I think we had better writers back then too. A lot of them were better writers, I think, because they had to be, because that was their livelihood. And one of my favorite sayings is you've got to be there. You do have to be there. You have to be where it's going on, where it's happening.
Communication between farmers and consumers is a vital one in the agriculture industry and technology-based society we live in today. And John reflects on the connections producers can make in an everyday world.
I think farmers and ranchers are some of the most honest. They will usually tell you and answer the questions that you have for them. And each one of them has a story to tell if they are willing to share that with you. And a lot of them are, and a lot of them do it very, very well. And they do take a lot of opportunities to invite people to their farms. They're talking agriculture day and night when they're on planes, when they're at meetings, when they're at church. Wherever they are, they usually talk about agriculture. I know they do. And they need to continue that too. And then you have to have organizations like Farm Bureau. You have to have the commodity groups like the corn people, the sorghum people, the beef people to help tell this story too. And then you've got to have an audience that wants to listen, and people that want to learn, and people that want to know about the food and where it comes from and whether it's healthy, whether it's sustainable, whether it is hormone-free if that's what they choose to eat, or whether it's organic. And all of those points of view are valid, and we have to understand that, and we have to talk to those people. We have to tell that story to them every opportunity and every chance we can. And no one has ever told that story better than our producers. I think they do tell it, and one of the things I feel has been so rewarding and so wonderful for my career as a writer in that is to help tell that story with my own storytelling skills that I've honed. And it all starts with listening. It all starts with reading. It all starts with being diverse in whatever you do, but you have to hear what they're saying.
Thank you for watching this show of Farm Factor about the avian influenza outbreak and communicating in rural areas. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this episode again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.